The best of the best from Albait Al Dimashqi. Let's talk about it. Hello people, my name is Nixon Dias and you are watching Smelly Cat. If you're new here or you've been watching my videos but you haven't subscribed yet, I strongly suggest that you subscribe now. It's what keeps me motivated to come up with more videos like this. This video is about Albait Al Dimashqi, which is essentially a clone or an alternative brand from here in Dubai, and I strongly believe that they need to be shown a little more love. It's a brand that I've used for over 5 years now, and that's why you might see some of the bottle colors are a little different from what people are buying right now. And I've seen that especially in India, a lot of people are reviewing it, talking about it, asking about it. So I said, as someone who has 22 of these fragrances that I bought with my own money, this is not a branded video. I really don't do tie-ups that much. As someone who's bought 22 with my own hard-earned money, it'll be fun to pick my top 10. I can tell you this, I visit their store almost every few weeks. And the only gripe I have, I would say, is that they need to refresh their collection a little more often. So every time I go there, there'll be probably no new fragrances that come in, and maybe after a couple of months or 3 or 4 months they put in one new fragrances, but they're a little late with launching the newer releases or alternatives of newer releases. So I've tested almost all of them because I keep going there trying stuff, and I've picked 22 that I like, and out of those 22 I've picked 10 that I think are the best. You know what, let's do this. Before you get into the list, why not pause and comment, tell me which is your favorite, right? I'm not asking top 3, top 5, which is your favorite from the brand. Done? Okay. So one thing I've noticed, because I've used it so often and I've tested it so often, is that, and you'll see it in the list as well, that they do the bolder, stronger scents better than the fresher, lighter ones. And that doesn't mean that there are no fresh, light ones in my or summer-like scents in the top 10. There are, but there are more of that bold, strong winter, fall kind of fragrances. I'll give you an example. Like their Aventis wasn't really my favorite. It wasn't even close to Aventis. There was some weird difference in that, at least when I tested it a couple of times. Maybe they've changed that now with the new bottles and all of that, but I didn't really like it. Same with the Silver Mountain Water. It wasn't bad, but it just didn't last on my skin. Even the Profondo clone, it smells good, but again, it didn't last on my skin. So I think, like I said earlier, the bolder, stronger scent is where they really do well, especially with notes like iris, amber and vanilla, and you'll get to know it when you see the list why I'm saying this. Those kind of scents, they do really well. So let's quickly finish this video because it's Pakistan versus New Zealand going on today, a World Cup. And I heard Baba's batting well. It's on the TV right now. New Zealand has scored 400 runs. It's going to be very hard for Pakistan. Okay, but I'm digressing. Let's finish this video fast. I have 22 or 23, I forgot, of them, out of which I've picked 10 for you. So here's my personal top 10. Let's start with number 10. On number 10, I have their YSL Libre EDP Intense for women. Now, 2 reasons why this is in my list. One is that my wife forced it into the list, and second, because I think this is very, very, very close to the original. It isn't my kind of scent, but I must say that my wife really enjoys wearing this, and if you want something that smells like YSL Libre EDP Intense, then this one comes really close. Number 9 is their interpretation of Jo Malone's Wood, Sage and Sea Salt. Now if you're wondering why I'm so close with the bottle, is because all these bottles look the same, and I don't want you guys to feel like I'm taking the same bottle and just changing the names and telling you what it is. So I'm getting it really close to the camera so you can actually read the name written at the back. Packaging is the same for all of it, the box, the bottle. A couple of differences between the new collection. They come in blue, the older ones came in this color. There's this longer bottle, taller, longer bottle that is for their slightly more premium collection, and then they have an even taller bottle for their VIP collection. so they all kind of look the same. So I don't want to just show you the bottle and then people will in the comments say he's just got one bottle and he just keeps showing the same thing again and again. So sorry for that awkward sort of showing you the name and pushing that bottle in your face, but I just want to tell you all that I actually have all these scents with me. Okay, so this is a great interpretation of Jo Malone's Wood Sage and Sea Salt. Lasts way more than the Jo Malone does. Most Jo Malone fragrances, like, don't really last long. This one does a good 7-8 hours on my skin. The only difference I find in this one and that is with that musk mallow or that ambrette note. It's a little overwhelming in this one, I would say, and it could get a little irritating if you overspray this one. I do around 6 to 7 sprays max with this, and it does an extremely good job for me. On 8, I have their version of Chanel's Allure Homme Sport. One of the few freshies that makes my top 10 list from them. Super smooth, easy to wear. Unlike other Allure Homme Sport clones that I've seen, it's not cheap and sort of rough around the edges. I mean, yes, there's that alcohol blast in the start and all of it, but it settles pretty soon compared to the others, and it doesn't smell cheap. I must say they've done a good job with this one. On 7, I've got their version of YSL's La Homme. Not La Nuit de l'Homme, but La Homme. Now, I have the original of this one as well. I've actually picked this one before I bought the original. There are some subtle differences, but it does a pretty good job. This one for me does last more than the original. However, I must say that the original is very well constructed, and this is slightly more synthetic. Although for 75 dirhams is what I bought this one for, I consider this a steal, even though I have the original. On number 6, I've put their version of Carolina Herrera's 212 VIP Party Fever for Women. Now, even though this one is the clone of the women's version of Party Fever, that colorful bottle, I would say that this one is a unisex scent, and it is beastly. It is a tad bit synthetic, and they have gone a little heavy-handed on the fixatives that they've used, but give it 15 minutes to settle down, and this is so vibrant and fun, and it'll have you coming back for it again and again and again. Both my wife and I enjoy this. So on number 6 is their version of 212 VIP Party Fever for Women. Alright, we're halfway through, so it's my duty to remind you to like this video and subscribe and hit that bell icon if you haven't done it yet. And since you're doing that anyways, why not comment and tell me what's your favorite from Albait Al Dimashqi. I'm taking your word for it, you've done it, right? Cool. On number 5, I've got their version of Dior Ambre Nuit. It's strong, the patchouli is punchy, the rose is perfectly done, and this is one of the better balanced ones from them. A lot of clones get that amber wrong, making it smell cheap, but this one gets it just right. But one thing I don't like is, if you'll notice this sprayer, this one leaks a little. A couple of their bottles have problems. One of them is this. You can see the paint is peeling off because this one is leaking, and I'll show you another bottle that sprays, I don't know, it spits on you. It doesn't spray on you, it spits on you and you get wet. I'll show you that bottle later. On number 4, I've got their take on La Nuit de l'Homme. I must say they do YSL stuff pretty well. You saw the Libre for Women, there's this one, then you saw La Homme, and even their YSL Y EDP is pretty good. Just didn't make my top 10 list because even though it smells good, it doesn't really last too much on my skin. But when it comes to YSL stuff, I don't know, it's just coincidence maybe. They do a good job. Now this one, like I said, is a take on La Nuit de l'Homme, and this is one of their most popular releases, and I can see why. This is actually the first one I picked from them. Subtle differences. I could say that the cardamom and the lavender are dialed up a notch. It's dialed up a little, but what it does is it sort of drowns that citrus opening. So the citrus is slightly lower, that the cardamom and the lavender is a little punchy compared to the original, but when it reaches that dry down stage, it gets pretty close. We've reached the top 3. Hope you're excited. Number 3 on my list is their take on Valentino Uomo Intense. I have the original now, but I've had this for longer. I've tested them side by side several times, and I must say they've done a great job at the price. Remember when I told you that they do iris and amber scents really well? Hey, this is not the last iris scent of the list. Probably gave you a hint of what's coming in the top 2, but my number 3 is Valentino Uomo Intense. On number 2, I have their version of Givenchy Gentleman EDP Reserve Privé. This one is getting a lot of attention now, and it completely deserves it. I'm sure those who've tried it probably expected this to be number 1 on the list. There's one that I like slightly more than this, but I have to say they've done an excellent job with this one. Remember when I was telling you about one of the sprayers? This is it. You won't be able to see it, but I'll just spray it here and I'll show you how wet it makes my hand. Just look at that. It spits out. You can see big droplets. There's something wrong with this sprayer, but yeah, I don't mind it. So yeah, the whiskey in this one is smooth, the nuttiness is there, the iris is top notch, and it's got that comforting gourmand dry down, and lastly it performs really well. Number 2 on my list is their alternative of Gentleman EDP Reserve Privé. And finally, the numero uno, the number wahed, my favorite out of the 22 that I've bought and the hundreds that I've tried from Albait Aldimashqi is their version of Issey Miyake's L'Eau d'Issey Noir Ambre. This smells so expensive, and believe me, this is one of the first ones I bought, and I got it on a deal. It was less than 60 dirhams. That's around $15. $15 for this quality and this smell, and this performance is absolutely amazing. And it's one of those scents where you like the clone so much then you buy the original. It's happened 2 or 3 times with me with this brand and with Noir Ambre as well. I like this so much that I ended up buying the original too. It's got that Arabian fragrance quality to it, rich and sweet, and that smoky amber. It's done to perfection really, and I must say this though, just stick with this during colder weathers. The colder it gets, the better this one gets. So my number 1 from Albait Aldimashqi is their version of Issey Miyake's L'Eau d'Issey Noir Ambre. Another top 10 done, one that I have been sleeping on for quite a while, I must say. Don't forget, let me know in the comments which one is your favorite from Albait Aldimashqi. Just put one of them. If you want to actually make a list of 10, if you've tried them, if you have them, make a list of top 3, top 5, top 10. Hey, I'm not stopping you. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section. And you know the drill, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon. And until next time, keep smelling amazing.